Hello guys and welcome back. Sorry about that little delay, the bathroom was calling me, so we're right back in ready for this game. Let me just get my co-caster online and ready. I am Sona, my co-caster today is Grosh. He's a wonderful man. We very much enjoyed the last 5 hours and 29 minutes 25 seconds of gameplay and just general fun and amusement that we've been having.
Spent a lot of time together, Aaron. Aaron.
Too much
time. The Norfolk boys, that's what we do. Spend lots of time together casting awesome games.
That we did. It's been a great fun actually. Like some of the games today have been of the very highest quality, and even the ones that have been sort of lower ranked players have been very, very well matched. We are actually into the picks and bans already, and this game is between the Mingeberry Club, Mingeberry
Crunch,
whatever. The Mingeberry Crunch.
It's the breakfast cereal of champions.
London Conspiracy, yeah. Well, Mingeberry Crunch is definitely what I have for breakfast most mornings. Anyway, into picks and bans, we see Lulu getting banned out and Fiddlesticks as well.
Yes, well, we kind of expected the Fiddlesticks ban against Dandy Chap, you know.
Yeah, not really.
Wow, these bans are coming thick and fast.
Yeah, well, Lulu, Fiddlesticks, Syndra, Evelyn, Lee Sin. We see both of the EE single L champions banned out.
All those top tier, top letter champions really being banned out here. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know the controversy, Dandy Chap used to play for London Conspiracy, so this is a bit of a grudge match for you guys.
Yeah, very much so. Who's the final ban going to be? It's Yasuo. There's still a Jax and still a Kale left in as well.
Yes. It's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good, exciting match.
That is the hope.
Yes. So, Vi insta-locked there. Wow. I think they've pretty much forced Dandy to play Vi because they took away the Evelyn. It doesn't seem like he likes to play the Elise because we've seen it open before when Lee Sin has been banned or, and he's gone towards that Evelyn instead. So, Vi, we've seen her a couple of times, had really good showings today.
She has. She's been very, very strong, and we saw the Assault Battery is really, really good, and as is the Vault Breaker. And
yep.
I do wonder who we're going to see picked up on the other side, because Elise is still available. That jungle Elise would be pretty strong, and we'll have to see what they do go for. Braum! I totally forgot that Braum was still available. It's that late at night, obviously. I'm just not picking up on these small details we usually would. So, Braum being locked in, and Kassadin as well, can be very weak in that laning phase. So I expect to see a heavy early game mid laner coming out here from MBC.
The real question, I think, for you here, Sona, is why doesn't Yasuo get locked out of his house?
Oh, I'm gonna. No, I don't even want to think about it.
Because he always has a key.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God, that was actually funny. I must be very tired.
Oh, God, I've wanted to get that one out for like the last like 5 minutes. Okay, it's good. So, Morgana, Lucian.
Kill me now.
I love.
Okay, anyway, yes.
They had to take the Lucian away because they had Braum. They had to take it away. So they kind of forced them into that pick.
Yeah, but it's a good pick. Like,
I think Lucian is.
Wouldn't mind taking.
But then Caitlyn Braum is brutal because she can just like proc that so easily.
Yeah.
And that Braum just gets so tanky and just so frustrating to deal with, especially as Morgana, because Morgana doesn't deal large amounts of damage as a support.
Mm-hmm.
She knows exactly what she has to do, and that's hit bindings and prevent Lucian from getting stunned. That's her job.
If you think about it, like that should be relatively easy for Morgana in this lane because the concussive blows, like it's a very obvious stun that's coming. So as long as Morgana times her dark bindings, her black shields properly.
Yeah. As long as you black shield when you see that projectile coming in, then you're fine. But we could see there are misplays that can definitely play around that. Oh, hovering on that rise, which I think is an interesting pick.
I think they should pick Xin Zhao top. It's the only meta now.
It's the only meta. It's the only way to play. Is that Xin Zhao top? Ooh. Yeah. Right, that could be a rise top with that Orianna mid. I like that.
Yeah, I immediately my mind was, where's the ball delivery system, and you've got it in Vi.
Yes,
Assaulting Battery, Vault Breaker. She's going to get into the back line of that team. You want her on the Caitlyn. You want her even chasing the Cassidy when he rift walks, in all honesty, because you can do that with Assaulting Battery.
But then, simultaneously, having the command Protect on Morgana, she's going in with her Soul Shackles. That's not a bad, with the movement speed as well. That can give her a lot of team fight control and around that. But final lock-in being that top lane Gragas. And I was actually talking about top lane Gragas not 2 minutes ago, whilst we were waiting in lobby. And I think that top lane Gragas is really good.
Oh, very strong.
But it depends how he's going to build, because we've seen support Gragas and he builds quite tanky. But top lane Gragas, you tend to be this guy who builds Rod of Ages and Abyssal Scepter and these items that are kind of this tanky kind of AP bruiser. Very similar to how Rise tend to build, which is this tanky AP bruiser kind of guy. You know, you build a lot of mana, then you build the Frozen Heart, and you get kind of and actually you get large amounts of DPS because of Spirit Visage and crazy weird math like that.
Yeah. I think, like, top lane Gragas, as you said, you tend to see these Rod of Ages builds, but you can also go for the Iceborne Gauntlet build with the Spirit Visage as well, which helps you with the sticking power, and also you still do a huge amount of damage, especially with your drunken range on that W. You get a lot of procs off the Sheen, so
and it does
very large amount of damage.
Max rank, it does 12% of max HP on next hit. So it's actually a very effective trading tool. So we'll see. I mean, Rise and Gragas both not great in this kind of early couple of levels. They like to get a few ranks in their relative skills, and so we might just kind of see these two kind of just being a little bit cautious with one another. And Rise having that ranged advantage is going to help him out a ton, but Gragas gets really good wave clear by about level 9, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
I think it's going to be very much a lot of this game is going to be very much decided by those early ganks. If Jarvan can get some good ganks off on Orianna, get Kassadin ahead. I love the name. The fact his name is Elsie Rift.
Yes.
And he has Rift Walk, and he's playing on Summoner's Rift. Like, obviously planned that miles in advance.
Totally planned.
Lifrit as well, so that's almost like Rift. So these are the connections my mind makes when I start getting a little bit tired. Anyway, we have about 2 minutes left before we get into this game, and we talked a lot about bottom lane and a bit about top lane as well, but we haven't talked a huge amount about the early and mid lane yet. So what do you think is going to happen here, Grosh?
Well, I think Kassadin is an incredibly strong champion at the moment. And with the magic damage shield that he has, he can block some of that damage that Orianna puts down with her command dissonance and her command attack. But Orianna is very aggressive early game. We talked a little bit about this with that Clockwork wind-up passive where she gets those consecutive auto attacks and she does lots of sort of this damage. And actually, you can win a lot of matchups if you play very smart with your shield and kind of and especially if you can shove Kassadin in. That's one of Kassadin's big kind of problems and always has been for as long as even before his rework and after his rework is he's never had good wave clear and he's really struggled to CS under turrets. And Orianna predominantly is a very good champion for wave clearing and pushing waves. So if she can force Kassadin to CS under turret whilst harassing him with that Clockwork wind-up, she could kind of get free trades because he's trying to get CS under the turret and he might end up in being down. However, Kassadin's running Ignite and Orianna's running Heal, so she's clearly afraid of this matchup in some capacity because she wants to go for that more defensive summoner spell.
Especially against the Jarvan coming in from the jungle as well. As soon as she's burnt that flash, she has no way of escaping that Cataclysm. There's no way of getting out. That is the same for Kassadin pre-6. So if Vi can, if Vi can get these ganks in with that Vault Breaker, she has pretty much the same kind of kit as Jarvan before. Well, pretty much the same kit as Jarvan, really, in the grand scheme of things. Gap closer with a knock-up, decent damage, and an isolation type ultimate. It's how it kind of works. And so they both do the same thing, but ultimately Kassadin has that nice escape. So if Vi can get in there and get some good synergy with her mid laner before Kassadin becomes a problem or becomes ungankable, that could give Orianna the little lead that she needs to be completely fine. We've seen Last Light play earlier today, and she played Anivia exceptionally well. I mean, the game was a bit one-sided, but I expect this game to be a little bit closer. If she can use her auto attacks well in the early game and keep Kassadin down, keep him pushed back to that tower, she needs to get probably 20 to 30 CS lead by about level 6, where she wants to be as an Orianna. Yes, she can farm a lot better than Kassadin is, even as we get into the later game. But if you can hit 6 just a little bit before your lane opponent, then have Vi coming in. Perhaps Vi will rush 6 and then come towards the mid lane as well. Try and get some sort of early pressure on that Kassadin. Then they'll be able to sort of snowball that into their advantage. But if they don't do that, LC Rift, very good at roaming. It's going to be very good at ganking those other lanes. And with a Jarvan and a Gragas with that teleport, it's going to be exceptionally difficult for MVC to react to that.
And they're going to be able to pick these targets off and isolate them with that Braum passive. You know, Gragas comes down, he body slams for the stun. You've got Braum's stun following up. It's very difficult for them to deal with that. And then you've got the Jarvan knock-up as well. It's just fantastic, especially, and with the Caitlyn traps, you can kind of line them up so they activate underneath your feet and all these kinds of moves. Yeah. So really, I wonder if they can make these moves with the teleport and they can make these moves with the Kassadin in that mid game, with the fact that he has such great roaming ability with the Rift Walk. Mm-hmm. They can make a lot of good, great plays and make plays around these objectives. But Rise, kind of in that mid game, also very good at those kind of pick scenarios. He can teleport in with the Rune Prism. He can and kind of they work very well in the ganks. Both top laners a lot of CC, so they're going to be able to enable junglers to get in and enable junglers to keep people stuck, kind of sticking and create these plays. And it's the same for bottom lane. Lots of CC in that bottom lane. With the junglers having reasonably good CC as well, there could be a lot of havoc. And I think it's all going to come down to counter ganks and just general map pressure and awareness and trying to be in the right place at the right time.
You look at this, 3 of the warding totems have already been used up here for the London Conspiracy team. They want that map vision. They want not to be invaded early game, and it's not going to happen. Like they've got good vision across the map, lined up all across the river, and they're going to be able to secure this blue for Jarvan.
Yes, they are. And getting Jarvan, he's a good jungler, but he can struggle if he gets put behind. Jarvan is one of those junglers that you can kind of build one of two ways. You can go Lizard Elder, or you can go Ancient Golem. You can go that full tank, like I'm just gonna be a frontline, like just beefy dude who just peels really hard. Or you can kind of go towards this kind of Vi route where you get a bit of damage, get Lizard Elder, and get Hex Drinker and those kind of items, and still and kind of be very aggressive. So, you know, I think getting Jarvan a good start is always a good thing as well, and getting him a safe start, and making sure that they both start from the same side so that they can kind of play that mind game with each other in that top lane, like who's going to try and reveal themselves first, who's going to try and gank first, and who's going to get counter ganked and that kind of stuff.
We talked a lot about the strength of the counter gank in the last game, and we saw at Lee Sin counter ganking. Was it last game or the game before? A recent game.
It was the one with crits where he had a great counter gank.
It was game before, I think, then. So really good counter ganking coming out from him by Lee Sin. So we do see actually Vi rushing towards her wolves as opposed to going for the sort of Wraith camp, which is what you kind of tend to do if you're starting a red buff and you're on the blue side. But rushing towards those wolves, we see Jarvan coming round already for what looks like a gank on this Orianna. As we said, put that early pressure down. If he can burn her flash, it's going to be very, very good for this Kassadin as they get further into the game.
Not going to see this coming in.
There we are.
Flash coming out straight away.
Good flash away, but it was necessary as well. And even though she was very close to a tower, she knew that she had to do it. It does mean Jarvan will be a little bit delayed coming towards this top lane. I expect to see Dandy Champ trying to utilise that to his advantage.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to get there sooner, but he's coming around to look for this red buff. He's going to get spotted out by the ward.
Nice ward here.
Yeah. Great little move there. That's going to be taken by Jarvan, but he's very low, so if I can get
paying enough attention here. I'm not sure he's noticed this. He misses the Vault Breaker. It doesn't manage to get away. Has to flash across the wall, and that's Jarvan's flash burnt as well. So that's really good there by Dandy Chap. Not so great that he misses the Vault Breaker, but good that he managed to burn that flash anyway. And Vi's coming towards the top lane again. Dandy Chap trying to put this early pressure down, knows that Jarvan doesn't have the flash anymore, and hasn't cleared out the red buff either. We're going to use that body slam. Massive Hillbilly Gragas just managing to get himself safe.
Dandy Chap making the right moves and being in the right places, but he's just not been quite able to hit that Vault Breaker, to have the kind of impact that he needs to hit that knock-up.
Impact.
Yeah, I see what I did there. Yeah, but that's it. Like, he's now delayed the respawn on Jarvan's red as well, which is going to affect him in the next 5-10 minutes.
Ooh, here comes Vi again. Body slam isn't available quite yet. Wigo is getting taken down quite low, down to about half his HP. Oh, uses the body slam to try and re-engage. Dandy Chap is like, yeah, okay, I will take your belly in my face, and I will raise you walking away.
So, Vi in the right place, trying to make things happen and trying to make these waves. Jarvan's clearing out his red buff finally.
Yeah, so that's actually going to spawn at 9 minutes, which is really late for that buff.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to put him behind in terms of these kind of mid-game fights, and we might see like them making moves around the dragon because they know that one jungler's got a red and one doesn't, and the red buff makes a big difference in some of these fights because it just the slow that it gives you, and here's Jarvan.
Here comes Jarvan in the mid lane. Force Pot's actually slowing down Last Light there. Doesn't have his flash available. Does have the heal. Oh, uses that heal to actually dodge out that flag and drag combo. Nicely done.
Great little move from Last Light.
Yeah, but it's a pink ward war as well. We see Jarvan picked up that pink ward, put it in this bush here in the river to at least secure some of that map vision for his team, and so he could come in from that side for the gank. Knew that Orianna wouldn't see him unless she placed a ward just in that side bush, and so was able to get that extra damage down and the second summoner as well.
Yes. So a great from him there to kind of re-pressure that lane now that he burned the flash. And I suspect we'll kind of see him coming into this top lane. Rise very, very aggressive, very pushed up in this top lane.
Yeah, burn his teleport really early so he could get that tier, and he wants that stacking as soon as possible. I mean, Jarvan is coming in for the gank, and he doesn't manage to get that combo off. Rise is going to be able to step back to safety.
Rise got quite good base movement speed in general with 377, so I suspect he's probably running some kind of movement speed quints or something to keep him kind of quite safe in this top lane. Quite common runes to run on top Rise is those quints. Predominantly Rise can struggle with getting kited if you can't quite get into Rune Prison Rage. And actually, one of the builds that we started seeing in Korea for a while, it was the third item Gunblade.
Yeah.
Because it was just that active slow with the spell vamp was just really great.
Vi actually coming for the gank into the top lane. Gragas has just popped 6, so has got that explosive bounce to try and get away. Dandy Chap trying to chase in. Nope. Nice body slam away there by Wigo again. Going to keep himself safe on that Gragas, and I don't think he's very easily gankable anymore. He's got that explosive cast, and unless the Assault and Battery comes off before he manages to use that, or during the cast of that, he's going to be able to get away from
this Gragas is very, very safe in this top lane with that body slam. And also the fact he has Happy Hour, he's getting 51 health every time he uses a spell on that passive up, and that's passives up every 8 seconds. So, got relatively good sustain compared to this Rise, who's kind of the only sustain that
another Dark Binding in bot lane. Look at that. If Rit is getting taken very low.
Yeah.
Some nice bindings actually landed here by Mr. Smickles.
Both of these are about 6 as well, so we might
Bao actually coming in the top lane. Chaos is going to have to flash away his pot. That Unleashed Power as well. Is Unleashed Power? I've forgotten the name of his ultimate. Unstoppable
Desperate Power.
Desperate Power, I knew it was
something
like that. And that actually gives them movement speed as well, something people don't always know about Rise. Gives you that AoE damage, the spell vamp, and a bunch of movement speed, so able to keep himself safe from that Gragas.
Yep, this Gragas really kind of starting to become a bit of a bully. He's going back on about 1100 gold, so he's not going to be able to get that catalyst. I don't think. I think it's 1200 for the catalyst. So it'll be interesting. He is going to be going towards the Rod of Ages build, which is I think it's the preferred route. Just makes you get really tanky and you do reasonably good damage. And if you can get that Rod of Ages, like stacking at 15 minutes or you're in a relatively good spot come 25 minutes when it's fully stacked, and you're at actually a really nice power spike.
It does mean London Conspiracy are going for this later game team.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they've got 2 catalysts on their team, which means they're trying to scale up through that mid game. As you said, if you get it stacking by sort of the 15-minute mark or so, it's still going to be 25 minutes before it's fully stacked, so it's going to take a while for you. And we see, sort of to counteract that a little bit, there's a Spirit of the Elder Lizard coming out from Jarvan, so he's going for a little bit of early burst damage just to be able to help out his team a bit as we get into that mid game.
Yeah, and I think now that we're seeing this bot lane come 6, it's no surprise that we see Jarvan down here. Yeah. Although he isn't 6, which I think could make a big difference in this fight, whether they get a kill or not. If he leeches enough XP, we might see them try and make a play. It looks like he's just going to back away, though.
It's still about a quarter of a level at least away from 6, and you don't want to leech that much XP away from one of your lanes. And there was a ping in the bush as well, so obviously MBC, so had an idea that he might be waiting around there. It looks like Oriana's rotating down towards this bottom lane, actually, but no, just going to check out the dragon, make sure they've got a ward in there. An SKT1 ward, one of the less commonly seen sort of special wards, but...
And even considering it was quite a defensive, like one of the big things to do with pink wards is to place them defensively early on, because they require you to auto attack 5 times.
Yeah.
It's not a damage response. It's that 5 auto attacks. But it forces you to commit time. Kassadin though, whoa, he's coming up here.
Top lane, Kassadin coming in. Oh, the bow there, actually knocking him back towards tower. Forcepulse going to miss. Wigo a little bit mispositioned there on that bow. Would have been nice to knock him back. And we see, because that Kassadin's in top lane, we see Vi coming down towards the bot lane. There is a ward in this bush that is going to be spotted out. And the Dark Binding misses there. Dandy Chap not able to come in for anything. But we were talking about the strength of this Caitlyn Braum bot lane, but you look at that Lucian, 94 CS to only 80 on the Caitlyn. Oh, Dark Binding, ooh, that was close.
90 caliber net, just they just went off in sync together. Nice little ace in the hole there to put a little bit more damage down onto Mr. Smickles, and this might kind of dissuade them away from doing this dragon.
Jarvan goes straight into Jarvan, Cataclysm goes down on him as well. He's landed that Dark Binding, and Jarvan's going to get taken out, first blood. Here comes Braum from the side, but Dandy Chap is fighting this one as much as he can. The side battery has been popped as is the culling. There's the heal. It's Lucian going to be able to chase him down. Does there with the Lightbringer. It's going to be lots of damage coming to it, but the teleport is coming in. Dark Binding a little bit too early there. Wigo's going to chase Body Slam. Not quite able to connect. He does land the barrel. Here comes the counter teleport coming in. Dandy Chap's trying to chase down, but he hasn't got that assault battery. He isn't going to be able to jump onto anyone. And teleport has been cancelled there by Rise. He's going to run back up towards the top.
I think the TP was a little bit too late there from Wigo. A little bit too late coming in on that.
And because he didn't have the explosive cast either, he wasn't really able to get that repositioning off, and the body slam not landing. Did burn the flash out from Lucian, but not quite able to get onto it. Lost Light taking quite a bit of damage in the mid lane. Nice shockwave though. He hasn't got ignite, so he's not going to be able to fight this one too hard. Command attack. He goes in. Is it going to be enough? He heals, and there's the kill. Look at that.
He
hasn't got ignite, and then he baits him to his death.
Yes, fantastic little move there from Last Light. We saw him playing that in Nivea early, and he did really well on it. And I think really just Last Light showing how he is a solid mid laner.
I've just read this in chat, and I'm shocked that neither of us have picked up on it.
I've just read this.
Shocked that it's happened.
Yes.
Jarvan doesn't have a trinket.
I did just see that. Jarvan, why you do this? Why you do this to me, Jarvan?
Yeah. So, yeah, Jarvan doesn't have a trinket.
It's hard adapting to these Season 3 changes.
Exceptionally difficult to adapt.
It's exceptionally difficult, you know. It's like playing a different game.
Yeah, Pickwood's getting picked off here by Caitlyn, and Rift is going there into the mid lane, trying to get some damage down to the Last Light, but it's got its Athenes now, got that. It does still give you that bit of magic resist, not quite as much as it used to, but still quite nice. Ace in the hole coming in here. They're going to go for the dragon. Vi is nowhere near it. Lucian's off to the side, has got no culling available, has actually just used it, and it looks like they're going to be able to take this one down. Jarvan. Oh, Dark Banding lines on him. He's going to go very low. Here comes Last Light. Nice command attack there. It's going to get a lot of damage down, but Ifris is there. There's the Soul Shackles as well. It looks like Braum's going to get taken out. The exhaust is down on Oriana, but here comes Vi from the side. She has got a Assault and Battery available in just a couple of seconds if she wants to use it. There's still a Caitlyn though. Is he going to be able to chase? No, has to go into the Caitlyn. Assault and Battery. Not quite up yet. Double kill there for Caitlyn. Got that red buff. Now Assault and Battery. There we go. He doesn't rip walk straight away. He has got the flash. Double kill for Dandy.
Dandy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice little moves there from both teams around that dragon. The dragon ultimately went over to London Conspiracy though. But it was Saber had to stand there, or reasonably had to stand there and tank that dragon. And he just took so much damage just not juggling with the rest of his team. And Braum's Unbreakable, if you didn't know, can actually mitigate the damage that Dragon does also. Yeah. And I feel like that may have been just kind of Braum not being aware that you could do that, or maybe just not deeming the Unbreakable worth it.
Yeah,
But actually, they could have really mitigated the damage that Jarvan took, and then maybe turn that fight in a different way.
Yeah, I think some people underestimate Unbreakable because they think, oh yeah, I'll use it to block the first ability or shot that's coming in. But it does makes everything do 30% less damage to you at rank 1 as well. So it's
this is why it's your second ability to max.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a, you reduce that cooldown. It's just so much work for that cooldown, and if you can, you can get some really decent damage reduction down as well.
Yeah, most decidedly. And still see 30 CS, well, 23 CS lead here in the bottom. Jarvan is there though, and they might go in. Here comes Jarvan. Actually misses the flag and drag combo, gets the Cataclysm down, but look at how low he is. Culling's come out, and there is some nice tanking. Oh, he dodged out of the way. That was sort of an execute there on Caitlyn. Double kill there for Lucian, and they turned that one round beautifully. But Braum, dodging out of the way of the culling, gave up that kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice little play there from Firefist Ace. Just nice little sidestep. Jarvan made a mistake on that flag drag and just paid for it with that failed gank attempt. And especially Lucian having finished that Blade of the Ruined King. He actually has a ton of sustain and does a ton of damage with that double proc, with that double magic damage. And the way that Blade of the Ruined King was changed is now it does 8% of the target's HP instead of that 5% it does before. So actually that makes it more effective on that double proc as well. So yeah, just doing tons and tons of damage and being 5-1. He's got 1,300 gold. He's going to be able to go back, grab himself a Brutalizer, go towards that Yumu's. He's going to be a problem to deal with.
I do wonder if perhaps the fact that it's almost 12 o'clock at night is playing a little bit against these players.
Yes.
Obviously, they stay up playing late some of the time anyway, but you don't expect to be sort of on top of your game at this time of night. I know that I'm not on top of my casting game at this time of night.
No,
Lucian going to get caught out a little bit here by Caitlyn, but managed to get a huge amount of damage down anyway. Doesn't really have the mana to follow up on any of it. But we've just seen a couple of players that have been not questionable as such, but not quite to the level that I know some of these players can play at. So
absolutely.
Hopefully we'll see them pick it up a little bit. Interesting little thing for you, by the way. If you are Cogmore at the moment, you can kill a pink ward with only 4 auto attacks.
Really? What's that?
As long as you have your Bioarcane Barrage, which is your W on, it actually counts as doing a stack and a quarter of the ward's health for some reason. So you can kill it with only 4 auto attacks. Saber coming into the mid lane, trying to get a gank off onto this Orianna, but she's very safe, managing to keep herself nice and secure. And here comes Vi, Assault and Battery. Saber's there. Nice Cataclysm onto him. Rift is not going to jump in on this one. Oh, the Shockwave does hit him up though, but he's going to jump away. No Assault and Battery to chase him under that tower. But nicely
that
done.
Vi and Orianna combo just doing
they have
so much
good
work.
Synergy. Explosive Custom off here in the top lane. Chaos connecting quite low, but he's popped that Desperate Power. And look at the damage coming out here from him now. Actually, nice play there by Gragas. He walked away from his minions so that Chaos wouldn't get quite as much spell vamp off of that Spell Flux, which is his sort of more AoE focused spell.
Yeah, that also reduces magic resist as well. So if you can get a couple of bounces on Gragas, you actually can make your damage output become that much stronger or that much higher against it as well. So you need to be kind of aware of these little trading things with that Rise. Rise though, 500 stacks on that tier. I think that would be stacked up in the 22-minute mark. So he's about on point for getting that tier fully stacked.
Oh, you look at it as well. He's got a Rod of Ages as well as that, and Gragas really 2 Doran's Rings which upgrade into nothing. Yes, they give you some health and some mana regen and a bit of ability power to start the game, but he's only got his Rod of Ages comparatively, and
they're both stacked to the same amount as well. So they're the most they can be is about a minute apart, 45 seconds or something like that. Is the most that you're gonna expect out of these guys. So comparatively, this Rise is doing very, very well for himself. He's sat on 1,000 gold already. So this Rise. And I'm undecided whether I think that this Rise scales better than the Gragas. I think he does realistically, but I think Gragas brings more to team fights and things.
Gragas has that bit more utility, really, especially with a Kassadin and a Jarvan on your team.
Yeah,
I totally.
But then they can also work against one another as well, and we've seen that too. We've seen the Jarvan Cataclysm with the Gragas combo can be a problem as well, and you can kind of force those out. So we're seeing the Rise actually go very aggressive to defend this turret, and that's because Vi has come up here, but that's going to go down anyway.
Yeah. It's a 3 versus 4 man stack at the moment, and MBC are a little bit ahead in terms of players, but Brahms coming into the mid lane trying to get a gank on this Lucian. Dandy Chap actually going across the wall onto Saber. Saber's going to have to back away, and Braum not quite able to get that damage in the mid lane.
She's got that assault and battery as well, so
yeah.
Still available. They can still try and look for these picks, and coming into this mid lane, and the Dragon being available now, they are in such a strong position to be able to fight.
This is bad from Braum. I has to flash away from that. Dark Binding was coming in as well, and just a bit mispositioned. Nice ward placement there in what we collectively know as the Death Bush. Just going around that corner. It was actually brought, I think it was Joe Miller in Season 2, talked a lot about the Death Bush, because it used to extend a little bit further around the corner, so someone could stand in the other side of it, and you wouldn't be able to see them. And Save actually going in here, but it's not the best fight for them to take. Ace in the hole, hitting Dandy Chap up. Save's going to get taken very low. Look at that shockwave, hits up 3 people. Rift is in the middle of it as well. Double killing spree there for Lucian, and here comes Gragas from the side. Dandy Chap, nice heal onto him. That's another kill there for Fire Fist. Ace picks up his double kill. They're going to chase in, and the teleport coming in onto Rift. He's going to get taken very low as well. Manages to get away from it. Teleport coming in a little bit late there. He does flash across the wall, lands that Moon Prison. Ifrit is getting taken very low. Rift against Mr. Smickles. Who's going to win? The exhaust is down. Come on, Mr. Smickles gets the kill. And here comes Lucian. That's an ace.
Yes.
Over some time, and that's 15 kills to 4 now. 7,000 gold in the lead. They're going to take away this blue buff. Goes across towards Oriana.
Great moves from the Mingeberry crunch there. Just
superb.
Fantastic vision around this dragon pit. They knew when they were going to hit their power points, and they just completely played around around this. You know, Lucian, he was in such a strong position, and they knew that they could force the team fight. Jarvan is having a really tough time in this game, and has just not been able to kind of make waves at all. And so they knew, well, hang on a second, if we can force these fights, we can force our advantage against the Jarvan, who's having a tough time. We can force our advantage against Kassadin, who's actually having quite a tough time himself as well. And just that shockwave, man, Last Light, you're a freaking god.
Yeah.
That shockwave, 3-man shockwave, grouped them all up, and just Lucian was just like, thank you for these kind presents.
He's 8-1 now. He's got a BF sword on top of that Yumu. So
wow. He's probably going to go towards that eye edge, which is just going to be such a big item advantage he's got over this Caitlyn. Caitlyn only got the eye edge into that Zeal. So really, you know, just that's a great item if you want to do sustained trading, and you can kind of just, or you want to, you know, you can try and get these crits with your passive. But Lucian, he just goes, right, well, I just pop Yumu's Ghostblade and Blade the Rune King you, and I'm just going to stick to you until you're dead. Yeah. You know, or I'm going to pop Yumu's Ghostblade and hit the culling, and then I just get extra stacks on the culling because it scales with attack speed. You know, all these kinds of things. So it's good, and with that red buff, Caitlyn is just going to really struggle to be able to trade. Lucian in a bit of a tricky spot here with Cass.
A bit of a pickle at the moment. I don't know if Rift is going to be able to chase him down. He's going to try, and it's quite a small.
He's getting himself a kill in that top lane though on the Gragas.
Yeah, look at this. Lucian's going to fight this one off. So much damage onto Rift. He's going to get melted down, but not quite enough. Caitlyn does pick up that kill. Shut down. They do get a tower and a kill in top lane for it though.
Yes.
So nice push out of them here, and they might even try and get some damage down onto this inner turret. They don't quite have the pushing power that they like, but they do have a little bit of damage coming out from Dandy with that Spirit of the Elder.
With how aggressive Lucian was playing then, I have a feeling that they kind of told him to keep them bringing Kassadin and Caitlyn down there so they could guarantee that they can get this double top turret push. And they've got 2 objectives, so 1 death.
Although and they've got a kill for themselves as well.
And it's, you know, well, they did get a turret back. Yes, good point. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's slightly in favour of MBC, but you know, not bad play from London Conspiracy either. So
no, not at all. We do see an 8-2 Lucian and 2, 3, and 1 mid lane and jungles. So I mean, difficult to see how really London Conspiracy are going to play this one, because there's an Iceborne Gauntlet on Kassadin now, which is great because it improves his sticking power. But where's your damage output? You've got Gragas, who does quite a bit of damage naturally, but he's only got a lot of ages and building towards either a Randuin's or a Sunfire, probably a Randuin's. And then Caitlyn, yes, she's got a Phantom Dancer and an Infinity Edge, but if she gets melted, like what we've seen happening in a lot of these fights, it'll be very difficult for her to actually do anything with her.
Yeah, I think this is the problem, is they can't really. Who do you pick in these team fights to focus?
Yeah.
Because Rise is at that point now where he is becoming an issue. He's got his Archangel staff. He needs like 10 more spells, and that's going to be a Seraph Embrace. You've got Vi, who's 3-1 and 6 and has built Lizard Elder and is still doing damn good work.
Yeah.
And you've got Orianna, who we've seen land continually good shockwaves and good distance and doing decent damage. And you've got Lucian, who's doing damn good damage as well. It's kind of you're in a bit of a catch-22 in who you actually want to work against and who you want to sort of pick off. And they have a very kind of pick comp with the Braum. They kind of stun this guy, right? Let's lock this guy up. And with the Jarvan flag giving you that attack speed, it kind of makes it a bit easier. But they don't really have this. They don't really have the AOE lockdown or AOE burst. They just have we're going to pick this guy, pick this guy, pick this guy. But when you choose one, the other's going to be free to just destroy you. And I think they're in a very difficult kind of situation where they need to figure out how they want to find these picks. And I think some of that stems around just decent map control. And if they can kind of bait them into fights and play the map better, they can definitely bring themselves into this game, bring themselves back from this kind of 9k deficit.
Yeah, and they're still 2 turrets to the advantage of MBC as well, and they're utilising that sort of turret pressure and map pressure really well, but the moment they've sort of settled into a lull, they've got to this stage where not really doing anything, kind of just like, oh, there's a wave in mid lane, let's push back the wave in mid lane, let's do this. Dragon is up in 25 seconds, so they're grouping around that now, which is really nice. They've got the Oracle's lens on their support as well. So
decent ward vision all around here. You see this defensive pink ward line. They've got the pink ward in the Tri, pink ward in topside red, and they've got a pink ward in this Baron. So they really just got that solid vision line where that's going to last until they destroy it, and they can just really sort of just keep that around. Going off this blue buff again.
Yeah, oh, it's on battery. Is the ball still on him? It is! Nice shockwave going in, but Rift should be able to jump away from this one. Nice Glacial Fissure coming out there from Braum, knocking out 3 people. Last Light's jumped on there by Jarvan in the backline. Here comes Lucian, the teleport coming in as well. Wiggo's going to get taken down quite low. Mr. Smickles goes out. Here comes Chaos, but they're not quite targeting the right people here. Rift, yes, you got a lot of damage onto him early, but he's Kassadin. He's going to jump away from you as quickly as he can. And Culling actually coming back in the wrong direction there from Lucian. I'm pretty sure he meant to aim that at the enemy. Ace in the hole coming out here. There's lots of damage coming down, and look at that. Saber actually gets knocked out. Wiggo's getting quite low as well. Rise is still on full health, as is Lucian. There's a dissonance to try and speed them up. Are they going to chase on this one? Rise flash across the wall. Oh, the Rune Prison is enough. And they're going to try and secure this blue buff. And actually, this fight all started from having vision on this blue buff. Nicely done there with the warding, and they do manage to pick up 1 blue buff. Are they going to rotate? They do rotate towards the dragon.
Jarvan went really aggressive onto Last Light, and he nearly went down there actually, and it was only through some nice little flash mechanics from Last Light that he just barely got out with the skin of his teeth, and I feel like if one of these guys had gone down, all of them could have. Yeah. And it was I felt like the dominoes were about to topple, but they managed to survive and bring that team fight and get themselves that extra bit of gold. Now we're looking at another 1,500 for them, brings them at the 10k gold lead.
Yeah, and you look at that, a large portion of their damage was mitigated as well because Lucian ulted in the wrong direction. I mean, if that culling had come out and hit a bunch of the enemy team, Jarvan might have actually not jumped in, so it would have helped him out. But even then, like, Wiggo would have been a lot lower on that, Gragas, and they probably could have chased a bit more for the kills, but they do secure the dragon. They do get the blue buff away as well. They get a couple of kills for their team. They are 10,000 gold in the lead, as you say, and it's going to be London Conspiracy really need to start hitting their power spike. They haven't really hit any yet, and you can see it because you see the power spikes coming out from Lucian when he hits his Yumus and he hits his Blade of the Ruin King, and Caitlyn's sort of like, yeah, I've got an IE, I can do some more damage, but
it's not
really
quite
doing
there,
in the fight. Yeah,
trying to get towards that last wisp, and she got the Phantom Dance as well. So she's coming to that point where she's nearly close to dealing just like really good, consistent damage. But how do you compete with this Lucian though? And he's got the Furas as well, which puts him in such a strong position. He's sat on 22k, 2200 gold, so he's got enough for his Infinity Edge now, which he's going back for.
Yeah.
But with the Furas as well, he's in this position now where actually pretty much no one can 1v1 him because he can chase you down, he gets the movement speed from the auto attacking, and he can kite really effectively, and you can kite really effectively with the movement speed you get from Yumus as well.
Especially if you put culling in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He can be very powerful. I'm pretty sure the culling actually procs Fioras as well because each one counts as an individual attack.
Yeah.
So as you're culling, you're getting movement speed to go in the other direction if you want to, or in either direction. So you've got a lot of plays that you can do around that Fioras, and I think the Fioras is going to do a lot of work coming into this kind of 20, 25 minute, 30 minute point in this game.
And you look at it, a lot of this gold is on map objectives and kills, really, because CS across the board is relatively similar. It's about 30 in the top lane and 40 in the bot lane, but it's nothing massive. And the longer this game goes on, the more London Conspiracy will feel that they have a good chance. They're getting their Rod of Ages almost fully stacked on both of these champions, the mid lane and the top lane. I think they're probably about fully stacked now. I'm not going to look because it looks bad on the overlay, but I'm sure they're about that at the moment. So.
Yeah.
And then we see a Zonya's starting to come out from Kassadin as well. So he doesn't have that burst damage that you might expect from a Kassadin. And be safe, get extra damage down just through sustained damage, and be quite tanky at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's got decent CDR as well, which is going to really help him out with from that Frozen Fist. And I think these fights are going to get closer and closer, like you said, not just because of the plateau effect, but just because members of London Conspiracy just scale harder into the late game. Braum being a great example of that. Kassadin is also a very good example of that as well. And we might start to see Kassadin get to that point where he just cannot be dealt with. And that's really going to come down to Vi just picking and choosing that assault and battery. And if they can't kill him in the assault and battery, it's going to be, or certainly the assault and battery and the Morgana binding. If they can't kill him in that, it's going to be a problem.
My question is, though, with this Kassadin build, when comes the point that you're unstoppable? Because it's not like you're building old school burst Kassadin where you're unstoppable because, you jump in, you kill someone, you jump out. Here it's sort of like you jump in, you do some damage, you jump out. You jump in, you do some damage, you jump out. And during that time, Rise gets his Rune Prison back up, Morgana gets her Dark Binding back up, Vi gets her Vault Breaker back up. Yes, you might be jumping in and getting out, but how much damage are you going to get off while you're jumping in, is my question.
Yes, I think, you make a good point. But one thing to remember is this new Kassadin scaling also scales with mana as well.
Yeah.
So that Frozen Fist, although it is typically not what you would consider a DPS item, in the Kassadin kind of case, it is quite a good kind of DPS item for him, and also it gives him that AoE damage as well, which he doesn't necessarily have that good of. So if he can hit good Frozen Fists on people who are gathered up by the Braum ultimate, by possibly the Cataclysm, it could potentially be a lot of damage in that AoE. But it just really depends on if the stars align.
Yeah.
And the ultimates work together. And I mean, the Braum ultimate and the Cataclysm can work really, really nicely together. You can group people up really effectively.
And then you can use the Gragas Explosive Cast to pick someone out of that as well if you want to, if you position it well. So we just haven't quite seen that synergy coming out yet from the London Conspiracy team. But as we progress further into this game, as we've been saying, the longer you get into a game, the less a gold difference makes a difference, if that makes sense. Like if it's 10,000 at 10 minutes, it's a lot bigger than 10,000 at 20 minutes,
absolutely,
or a lot bigger than 10,000 at 30 minutes. So,
But I think NBC are doing the right things to keep that gold leader, to keep that kind of pressure and that gold leader significant. They're stealing away the blue buffs. They've got really good vision in the bottom side jungle. They're going to transition some of that vision into the top side, ready for that Baron, potentially. And I think the Baron really, although the gold is quite disparate, there's a large gold disparity at the moment, I think the Baron, actually, that fight around that Baron buff could potentially decide the game just off that one fight, because if London Conspiracy can steal the Baron or get themselves back into this and get a really good team fight and get an ace and get some objectives, they're totally back in this. Yeah. If they don't and the Mingeberry Crunch get it, they're going to be able to completely walk over them because they're going to have such a massive gold leaders. And that Dragon, again, just total securing from all those wards in this bottom side river. They're now positioning themselves really to be able to take this Baron if they, as much as they please. And London Conspiracy know it's happening, but they're kind of in a position where they can't even stop them irrelevant. And this Baron is going down like so quick. And they're just they were just kind of not even doing it properly, really.
It's an interesting one. I feel like Mingeberry Crunch Jr. is fighting. There's the shotgun. Nice assault battery onto Rift as well. Wigo gets taken very low. Nice glacial assault there, taking everyone down. Saber jumps into the back line to keep everyone around. There's the explosive cast as well. Dandy Champ's going to jump back in. Pfeiffer stays still on full health on that Lucian. Look at the damage from him. So much onto that Braum. That crit. Half of Caitlyn's health just gone. Now they can rotate to ban. I just feel fighting earlier. Like yes, they did a good fight then, but Should have been at least 5 to 6 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I think they could have ended this game a lot earlier if they'd really kind of forced the issue here.
Yeah.
Maybe dragged the game on a little bit too long, but solid move there. They realised that actually they didn't need to risk the Baron getting stolen. They baited them into a fight, killed the jungler, then forced them to disengage because they would lose the fight in an ace, and then just took the Baron very, very safely with that smite being difficult to contend with.
Yeah, I think the really good thing about that was they went in on Rift with the Vault Breaker and Shockwave combination. Immediately, he Rift walked out, but then they had the Assault and Battery to follow up. So Rift was isolated from that fight the entire time, couldn't actually go anywhere near it, and it meant that it was just really, really easy for them to secure that Baron and win the rest of the fight as well.
And one of the things that they made or changed Castin was making that Rift Walk be a part of his damage kit. Yeah. So if you force him to Rift Walk out of these fights, you've cut his damage output, and I think that also kind of compounded that. They focus him, force him to get the hell out because he's terrified of being blown up, and then hang on a second, now he's doing 75% as much damage. And that's, and those little things compound together because you're forcing them to use their spells defensively as opposed to offensively. And so this Castin has just not had the kind of effect that realistically he needs to have.
Yeah, most definitely. You look at it, he's only 1-4-4, and yes, he's been involved in 5 of the 6 of his team's kills, but a lot of the time in fights he's had to back away from them, he's had to jump out as opposed to, as you said, jumping in and getting all of that extra damage down.
And this Rise is just becoming such a beast as well.
Void Staff now as well, yeah.
Yeah, that Frozen Heart, he's got the Seraph's Embrace and the Rod of Ages. Looks like he's going towards probably the Banshees or the Spirit Visage. Probably the Spirit Visage with the way the spell vamp he gets on his ult. Which will put him at that's 40% CDR, and he's just going to be machine gunning through your team with like 3k HP. Yeah. And healing tons.
Like, even because they're that far ahead, I was wondering if you might go for an Abyssal Scepter just for that extra bit of magic damage.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. That is a good point. It works very nicely for the Orianna. If he's in the middle of the mix and Orianna gets free stats, that's going to make that Shockwave hit that much harder. And with her having Rabadons, Zhonya's, Hourglass, looks like she's probably nearly going to be able to get that Void Staff. She's going to be at such a power point as well. Yeah, she's set on 500 gold at the moment, so in about 1,000 gold time, she's going to be able to go back and get that spell penetration, which she definitely needs because there's Spectre's Chaos left, right, and center on this London Conspiracy.
Yeah, all over the place. So I do think MBC are just a little bit slow at the moment. Like they've got Baron, they need to just kind of. We keep saying this, they need to just push, they need to get an advantage. They've got Baron, they've got an objective. Yes, they're 15,000 gold ahead, but what are they doing with it? They've gone a third of this mid inner turret's HP. They're not even on an inhibitor turret anywhere. They're trying to get damage down, but there's good wave clear coming out from Gragas and good wave clear coming out from Caitlyn as well. It's very difficult for them to actually do anything. Nice clearing of the Caitlyn traps there by Mr. Smickles. Half the HP down. Look at that, Lucian, a couple of tower shots, a couple of auto attacks on that tower. Get it taken down very quickly, but the problem is Vi is not with them. There's the barrel going in. Here comes Rift. Glacial Prism actually going to miss. Sorry, Glacial Fish are going to miss. Look at that damage. Shockwave is beautiful as well, but the Unbreakable there by Braum stopping all of the auto attacks. Caston having to back away from it again, and Chaos came in from the side, not using that teleport. Oh, Dandy Chap going to jump onto the back line. Has he got enough damage by himself?
Yes.
He has, because there's Lucian as well. That's a double kill. And Orianna picks up the kill on Jarvan as well. Ace in the hole coming out, but this is going to be an inhibitor, and
absolutely
nicely fought there by MBC.
Yeah. I thought they were posturing a little bit too much and kind of afraid to go in on that, and actually London Conspiracy kind of had enough, decided that they actually couldn't really get anything, and just went for it. Got outplayed, and you could just see how much damage that Lucian was dealing. You just couldn't deal it. Whoa! This is game. Well, really well played there by.
Look at that Lucian damage.
By Mingeberry Crunch. This Lucian, man.
So culling as well. Is he going to get it? Oh, the flash away. He goes in. No!
Ruins his KDA, man. Ruins his KDA.
Only 10 and 3 at the end of the game. They're going to get the Nexus. Well played, MBC. Hopefully they're going to get. Oh, double kill for Caitlyn. And she does get taken down. Nice Zhonya's at the end as well. Some swag points there for Orianna. So well played. Really well done there by MBC.
Good. It was a good game to finish on, I think,
very
as well.
Good game.
Yeah.
Very good game.
Great showing. And I think the Mingeberry Crunch really have shown how much they've grown as a team in the last week, because they've done fantastic today.
That they have.
And Last Light he's just a fantastic mid laner. But the real question is now, who do we give MVP to?
It is. It's a big question, isn't it?
I think it's a big question.
Lucian did superbly. 10 and 3. Huge amounts of damage. And
yeah.
I actually I want to give it to Dandy Chap because...
Yeah, I think so. He had loads of his champions banned out, you know. The controversy that surrounds him and London Conspiracy, and he's kind of come out here and just kind of put on the big plays, and his Vi was good. His Vi was good. I think we should give it to Dandy Chap.
Yeah, Dandy Chap gets MVP because everyone bans out his Fiddlesticks. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, you have to. He can only play Fiddlesticks. He's awful at all of their junglers." But really showed today, even in the earlier matches as well, how well he can play. Hours and 20 minutes into our Skype conversation and
kicking ass, taking
it's been
names.
Amazing. Like, it's been great fun. I'm really loving the thing that Cyber Gaming have done here with this League of Legends tournament. Really good. All UK teams. It's great to see the level of UK play rising from week to week. It's only been a couple of weeks, but really, really good play all round. Yeah, thank you everyone for playing. Thanks also to all of the teams for joining in and for giving up their Thursday night to play. Anything you want to say before we chuck on some music as the stream ends, Grosh, my darling?
Just thanks everyone for watching. I think today's games have been pretty damn good, and and you can just see the quality bars just going up and up and up from these guys, and that's great to see as well. You know, I mean, the better the games are, the more fun it is for you and I to cast as well. Oh,
most definitely, and it's great that we've only had one sort of game where we've had some DC issues and stuff today, so really, really good play. I want to say thanks to Niall Fraser as well.
Yes.
His name's Hyman Klinger. He was the one who organised all of this and has done a great job thus far. I'm really hoping that we can get some extra sort of sponsors and get this as big as we'd like it to be, really. So. And
also, I think we need to make sure that we make highlight reels of his Misfortune play, because that shit is just absolutely superb. Superb stuff.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow with... well, I won't be back tomorrow, but I'm sure some wonderful casters will be back tomorrow. All of the casters who work for Cyber Gaming are absolutely superb. So they'll be back tomorrow with a couple more games, and then Saturday and Sunday as well. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you very much, guys.
I've been Sona, and my co-cast has been the wonderful Grosh. We're both from Norfolk because we're wonderful.
And slightly in bed.
Yeah. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you very much, guys.